We'll do it again. Right, well, this is a new introduction to the old introduction, because we just filmed the whole NickeRMel update, but
without sound.
Yeah, because we didn't have the microphone on, so whoopsie.
Some silly person was too worried about his list to bother to turn the equipment on. But never mind. Here we go again.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this February/March update. And the reason this is slightly delayed from February is I've been ill and then passed it all on to the whole family, so we've all been ill. So yeah, it's my fault why we're so late. But yeah, we're here, we're back. And we've got stuff to talk about.
We have indeed.
I mean, I did have a list for the first cut of this NickeRMel update, but hopefully I should remember it now.
Well, hope you do.
Yeah. So I did a Facebook post kind of like listing things that we're working on, and we're using that as the basis for this video update to give you a bit more context and to add some stuff that we've done in between that we're working on. So one of the things that we've shot already that should hopefully be released soon is the listener short story time,
which went very well, I thought.
I enjoyed that. It's much longer than the first two because listener was intended to be a short film first rather than a short story, so there was a lot. It was very dialogue heavy, and from the footage that we have shot so far of that short film is going to be in Object Legacy, so you're still going to see footage for the listener short story.
So you're not going to miss out.
Yeah,
it's just going to be an aspect of it.
And what's good about the story time is there's slight changes from the original script to the final script the footage that's gonna be in Object Legacy. So you'll see some differences in the short story to the actual film. Like for instance, in the film, there's two characters that I combined into one. But when I went back to the short story, I thought, well, let's bring that old original character back that never saw the light of day. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting. Yeah. And what's going to be good about this story time is it will work as a perfect primer because it is an identical exact prequel to Object Legacy, which we have been working on. We shot parts of the ending, not the complete ending.
No, but quite a bit we've got there. We're getting there slowly. On
my birthday, the same day released the latest Final Report trailer. And we're getting there with Object Legacy. It still needs a lot of TLC.
Sure. Because the more cast members.
Yeah, again, if you want to come out and join us, it'll be free work, but we'll be more than happy to have you. It'll be lovely for people to come along.
And also we need voice actors.
Yes, because there's quite a few scenes. Not quite a few scenes, but a block of one scene. That's a spoiler, but it will feature characters.
And it's crucial.
And it's crucial for Final Report. We'll talk about that in a minute. We'll jump on to Memory Remains, which we did the latest block the week after my birthday onto Steve's birthday.
It seems to be going very well.
Yeah, it's going very, very well. And to add something new to the list that isn't on the list on the Facebook post is we've shot a lot of behind the scenes, so expect a new video diary for Memory Remains. Again, I'm so happy and proud of like how Steve's doing it. He's got his very well-oiled machine. He's got everything planned. We're still talking about
so unlike you then.
I made this joke the last time we did this.
I did it slightly differently though. I used different words last time. I think this way was funnier.
I think I'm speaking better anyway. Yeah, I feel a lot more confident this way around than the first time around where I was just talking.
I bet you've missed bits off your list though.
No, I haven't.
Because you haven't consulted it.
Fuck the list. And then that brings us to Final Report, and shockingly, I said this the first time, we're probably a bit further into production on Final Report. That's closer to being completed than Object Legacy. But as I said, Object Legacy needs a lot more tender loving care because we're doing because it was shot, the majority of it was shot with The Businessman. It has the same audio problems as The Businessman, so we've gone back. We're bringing actors back that we can to do ADR, audio replacement, for people that don't know. And there's a scene in Shape of Things to Come that is also in Object Legacy, and you'll notice the difference straight away when us two you will actually be able to hear us properly.
And you'll be able to know what we're on about.
Exactly. Now, more on the behind the scenes content. There's 2 behind the scenes videos that I'm working on for Final Report / Object Legacy / Anthology in general, and that's generally talking about the new characters that we're investing and introducing in Final Report. And this is something I did talk about in the last version of this update with no audio, is we might be extending the script of Final Report, because it was originally supposed to be a short film, but it's not only a farewell to these characters that we've been with since 2008, but
also an introduction to some new characters.
It's an introduction to the greater world that has been in my head since, let's say, 2000, because
so you're seeing another side to this world.
Because and there's a block of scenes where we meet, I'm just going to say, a group of warriors, and it's a setup scene. But there's an idea in my head of a short film that follows that setup scene, but I'm wondering if it should be better if it's part of Final Report as well, because what you will have noticed in the latest trailer release of Final Report is it starts off with this weird message, and I won't go into context for it, but what I will say is that was originally going to be its own separate short film as well, that we were going to release before the Object Legacy, to kind of confuse you about what the hell's going on with all the time travel and everything, but I thought it worked better
as part of the
Final Report. Yeah, it gave a lot more context on Jack's journey going forward, because I don't know if I've said this or not, but Final Report will take place over several years. The main bulk of it will be 6 months after Object Legacy, but there will be a period near the end of the film where it will jump and jump and we'll be introduced to several of the main characters of my big dream project, Warriors, which I'm so excited to see. I've already had a few people reach out about voicing some of these characters, and thank you so much for reaching out. And if anybody else wants to reach out for roles in Object Legacy, roles in Final Report, whether it's acting or voice acting, by all means, come and join us. But I'm going off topic. I was talking about behind the scenes. I shot in January, after our last update, the costumes and characters of Final Report. That basically, that's what I was talking about. That's where I got
and all the guns
went on the tangent. Yes. So we've shot the costumes and characters. So where I basically pull up the costumes, I talk about the characters that are going to be in the costumes. And the next one is going to be about all the arsenal and the weapons that I've collected over the last several months.
Which are real weapons.
Yes, yeah, because we have to make that very clear. They are toys that have been painted to look like prop guns. They're not real, so nobody call the police on us, because that has happened already before.
Oh, it did indeed, yeah.
But yeah, that is that. We've got 2 of those, and obviously, as I said, we've got another video diary for Memory Remains on the way. Blah, 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 blah. And
you did talk earlier without Fulmer into about possibly making this type of setup a podcast eventually.
Oh yes,
and having visitors and starter guests on it, and former actors and former cast members.
So what Stephen is talking about is what you are watching right now, the NickeRMel update, because this was supposed to be a one-off originally. It was supposed to be about us losing a great big chunk of footage that we lost, and then I just decided to continue it, about talking to you, just giving updates on the films, how we make our filmmaking process, like this sort of thing here,
where we're up to with various projects,
just to keep you in the loop, and just a way for us to talk to you. But it's going to start to evolve, I think. Like we've talked about having people on, as you said. I've talked to Steve about him coming on, talking about his process of how Memory Remains came about. and it's just things like that. And we're thinking about bringing other people on. We were going to have Laurence on at one point to announce a project that we would be talking about in a bit, but we're not going to announce it. I'm not going to get into that trick. So yeah, this was just supposed to be us talking to you, but it is sort of semi-evolving into a pseudo podcast. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be that kind of length or anything, but we're mulling over what we're doing. We talked about doing maybe reviews again, but we haven't got around to it. One of the reasons we didn't continue with our Doctor Who reviews is we watched them and we didn't hate them, but we didn't feel they didn't grab us. There was one episode in particular with Doctor Who that really grabbed me, and it was the second to last episode when they brought back, spoiler alert if you haven't watched, Sutek, and they immediately ruined it in the season finale for me. And because that was one of the things we were thinking about, is maybe doing the whole season as one review, but we just didn't feel like it in the end after watching the series. Obviously series 2's coming out soon. We didn't like the Christmas special.
We also wanted to prioritise actual filming ourselves.
Yes, because it is hard enough not only getting us into the gears and the rhythm of filming, getting other people, especially when you're asking them to take time out for free to come along and do silly little films with us. It's hard enough just to work on making stories, let alone doing reviews to stuff and just general, what I hate the word, but just content really, is just making stuff that has no passion in it. And that's one of the reasons we didn't do the review, is we didn't really feel any passion in it. But yeah, that was that. So that's something we're thinking about doing with NickeRMel Update, is expanding it a little bit, talking with other people, bring people on, how they feel about things they've worked on before and stuff like that. So that will be an update to the update soon. A couple of in development projects that we've talked about is Doctor Who, still mulling over what to do. I've been in contact with Harvey, who was an exec on the original show and was heavily involved in Curse, and obviously we lost a load of the footage, which put me off, I must admit, with our little Doctor Who universe. But we've been talking about how to kind of wrap it up in a way, and it's either going to be we start again, we do a short film to wrap it up, or maybe even go the audio route, because I know that's something that Route's American. I've watched too much American programs, alright? It's just, there's like patriotism technically over here. It's
that's something you wanted to talk about. Patriotism. Yes. You mentioned it.
I did
in our last attempt at
but
this
I'm
podcast.
Talking about the other thing first. I'm talking about Doctor Who. So yes, audio is possibly something we're going to look down to, and patriotism is something I've been talking about for years, because it was an unfinished film. It was a college project, and we got let down, me and Elliott, who wrote the film, and we never got to finish it. And it's always been in the back of my head. Like, I'm not a massive fan of remakes. The best ones are ironically the ones that really stray really far. But the only one that I can really point to is Battlestar. Like, that is like one of the pinnacles of, like, and it's not even really a remake, it's a reimagining.
Yes, a total reimagining, really.
But for patriotism, to me, because it wasn't a completed film, I think it is very well justified being remade. But it's not. I'm not confirming it at all. I'm not saying this is the next thing I'm going to do after I've finished Object Legacy and Final Report. I haven't decided what I'm going to do after that. But it is something that's been on my mind for a while. Me, Harvey, and Elliott, at the time when we were definitely going to make the remake, we planned out this whole trilogy of what we were going to do. So that idea is still in my mind, and I'm sure it's in their minds as well at some point. So we'll see
someday, maybe.
And then obviously we're slowly bringing back the comedy show.
You did say that you had ideas about the blocking of that, and you're going to have 6 episodes of each show.
Yes, I did, because we don't want to rush it. Like, we want to. With new shows these days, seasons or series, however you say it, if you're English or American, they're getting shorter and shorter and shorter, but we are going to take that into consideration to start off with, like maybe 6 or 8 episodes to begin with as we're getting in the rhythm, because what's great about the comedy show is it's got a really good quick turnaround, because what we usually do with comedy show, like we did with the pilot last year for the sort of 1 minute wonder sort of pilot for the all new comedy show, was we have a basis for the idea and then we ad lib it our way to the end. Essentially we kind of have a bare strokes idea, and I think
the whole lot is ad libbed, really, isn't it, from start to finish, as long as we don't steer off the path of the idea.
So what we're thinking is maybe 6 each for comedy show and then Steve's show. And I think, ironically, going back to the script idea is probably one of the reasons that we struggled so much with the comedy movie.
Because that was scripted.
It was scripted, and while we did find it funny...
But it had to be, in a way, because it was that much longer. You can't ad-lib a whole entire film.
Yeah. And again, with a Doctor Who situation, we lost a load of footage for comedy movie.
That's true.
The only reason The Businessman and Object Legacy were lucky is because they had work prints saved to another hard drive, and even with Object Legacy there's one scene that is technically half destroyed where we might have to go back and reshoot a little bit of it, unless we somehow miraculously get the footage back, but that's another discussion.
You still wanted to look into having your hard drive fixed,
but we don't have to talk about that for the moment.
No.
So yes, if we were ever going to delve maybe back into doing a comedy movie, what we're probably going to do with that storyline is have it as flashbacks for the comedy show, and then maybe possibly do my idea for what a comedy show 2 / something else would have been.
Yes.
There's a something else 2, because there's loads of unmade films that we've been thinking of over the years, like our movie saga with you, me, Melanie, Deborah and Laurence. There's about 4 films that we never made of them, like Best Friends, Sisters.
Oh, yeah.
The compilation that had all mini sequels to all of them. Yeah, there's loads of ideas that we've had, and one of those has really stuck into our head about possibly crossing over with comedy show, because...
Well, it already has in it to a degree.
Because this is one thing I need to establish, because like Anthology, all our kind of comedy-centric shows, like crap shows...
in the same world.
Yeah, crap shows, comedy show, the Our Movie Saga, it's part of what I like to call the limited gene pool universe, why everyone looks the same. So you may see some characters return, even from crap shows, even though that show is gone. Yeah, even though that show is gone. It's dead. We might see some characters back from that. Obviously, only played by me. That's all I'll say on that. But, yeah, that's about it, really.
I think we're more or less there.
Yeah, I think let's just consult the list. Let's just...
Oh my God, you and your flaming list.
Well, it's just I don't want to have missed anything. Otherwise, might have to do it for a third time.
Well, you haven't turned the camera on. Really.
Don't do that to me. That's the wrong list. Yes, we talked about Object, we talked about Memory Remains, we talked about Final Report, we've talked about maybe what we're going to do with NickeRMel updates, talk about Behind the Cameras, we talked about Inside the Businessman's.
Oh yeah.
We this is something we've been working on for about a year. We've started the interviews for it, and we're just trying to bring actors back to talk about the film, really, and
their roles in it and how they're impacted.
And to go off of that as well, we might be doing an audio commentary for not just The Businessman, but all of them. So, for instance, bringing back Harvey to do audio for Object, you for Fear Inside. It's just something that's been in our heads. This isn't confirmed. I'm not saying it. Nobody's definitely coming back to do that. I'm going to throw that out there. It's not confirmed, but it's something we'd like to do. On Inside the Memory Remains as well. Obviously, we're doing video diaries. We're also doing a proper making of alongside it. And then after we've filmed the whole entire film, I'm going to get Steve sat down. I'm going to get Dave sat down, which Steve's looking forward for me to do, to interview him about the process of making the film. obviously I'm going to get to sit down as well and talk about, being a producer on the film and an actor in the film and all that such. But that's about it, really. Yeah, we've covered everything now. And as I said, as a preferist, if anybody wants to...
Preferist? What's a preferist?
I'm dyslexic, leave me alone. If anybody would like to join us in just casting as an actor or a voice actor, by all
for
means.
Sex. What?
I can't believe you just said that.
Well, I just thought I'd throw it out there.
That's something I'd say. Yeah, aside from the last part, yeah, if you're an actor that likes... Fucking hell. Alright, Harvey Weinstein. If you'd like to join us, we'd love to have you. Not in that way. Oh, you've thrown me off now. But yes, thank you very much, everyone. Mike's definitely on I Can See the Bar Moving, so we don't have to do it for a third time. We've made it.
Good. Thank you for that.
And we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye for now.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. Right.
I like my shirt, by the way.
Oh, very nice. Can I touch it?
No.
Oh, lovely. Feels nice.
Yeah, I'm me tooing you.
Oh, well.
Bye.
Now you'll want to get it right. No, I